You have a teacher, you have panties, and you have a lot of fun. That's all you need to know. Let's go. This hentai starts with a young woman entering a new school as a teacher. Particularly, her new class has some bad apples, and she meets two of them on the train on her way to work. One of the two, the guy, immediately tries to rape her in front of everybody. While she is able to escape, later it turns out that those two on the train are her future students. In class, she is immediately targeted by the same guy, but the, in quotations, boss of the class intervenes with plans on his own. Will he make her his personal slave? Well, what do you think? This is a hentai, right? The idea sounds and is somewhat generic, but still fun to follow. Now, in hentai, women tend to be immediate slaves and that's it. Boring. In this one, she actually tries to resist all the way through, and the fun of it is that the guy actually needs to trick and break her will before she ultimately becomes his slave. That is actually an interesting idea and battle to see, especially if she attends a school full of screw-ups already. And because the school almost only has screw-ups, that actually makes things harder for her. With the story alone, while not innovative or something, still does its job well and manages to somewhat stand out from other hentai. But it actually doesn't stop there. While the music is not really worth mentioning, the animation surely is. At first glance it may look undetailed and somewhat cheap, but it's not. Sure, it doesn't look as excellent as Bible Black or Discipline, but the more, let's call it, down-to-earth animation works perfectly. Especially since the producers, because of the animation, had a lot of time to make the scenes flow really well and even without any repetitive scenes. Yes, no repetitive scenes in here to be seen, and that's always great. But with all of this, the characters look good, the fun itself looks good because it just flows well. The producers knew how to make a hentai, and it shows. The sex works good as well. One thing to mention is that there is no size double Z breasts in this. The chicks look very natural and realistic shaped, and that's awesome. That gives this hentai certainly a few plus points for sure. Sure, they focus a lot on panties, but that's the premise of this hentai as well. They don't go crazy with the sex or anything either. It's just a typical one-on-one deal, but still good enough in my book. To make this short, just watch it. These two episodes are worth the time for the above average story and actually the almost simplistic but still excellent animation. I consider this to be one of the few high tier hentai out there, and you will probably as well.